What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word? Hummingbird. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiancé Season 11, Episode 3, Between Love and Madness. Let's talk about Greg and Joan. So, before we get into the nitty gritty of Greg and Joan, I just want to say this. I don't understand this couple. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't understand why a woman like Joan would be interested in a man like Greg. And it's not to put Greg down in any way, but when you compare the two, she is accomplished. She's the director of a nonprofit. She's educated. She has a bachelor's. She has a lot going for her. And then she wants to be with a man who is like a jack of all trades. He doesn't have like one steady career or one steady source of income. He's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. He picks up odd jobs here and there. He's a baker. He's a plumber. He's this, he's that. And depending on what day of the week, depends on what he's doing that day to make money. And it's just there's a lot of inconsistencies with Greg. He doesn't have his own place. He lives with his mother. I'm not understanding why she would be interested in a man like him. This has got nothing to do with his looks. There's somebody out there for everybody. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just that when you look at careers and you look at, stations in life, they're not equally yoked. They're not matching at all. And I'm beginning to really think that she's with this man. Obviously, it's not for money because he doesn't have any, but I think that she probably just wanted to come to the United States because I don't understand why she would be with a guy like Greg. He doesn't have his own place. He's not on her level educationally. He's not on her level professionally. Why would she want to be with a guy like this? I'm not understanding. And above all of that, there's no chemistry between them. I don't understand. There's nothing between them. It's as if they just met. Every single time I see them together, it's as if they just met that moment. I don't see this, burning, passionate love affair where even when they met at the airport, when they reunited at the airport, I did not see that, that feeling of, oh my God, I'm so glad we're together again. I've missed you so much. We've been apart too long. I didn't see that between them. I don't understand what's going on with Greg and Joan, but that's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong, but like on the surface, I'm like, Joan, girl, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing in this mess? Moving on. So he picks her up from the airport, and instead of having a sign with her name on it, saying "Welcome to America, Joan" or whatever, he comes there with a loaf of bread with her name carved into the bread. I didn't get it. Then also, before he left for the airport, he made her a meal. Okay, like a boxed meal. He fried some like, why would you fry French fries that she's not going to be able to eat right away when they're still hot, fresh, and crispy? They're going to be sitting in his car for I don't know how long, because who knows how long he had to wait for her plane to arrive and how long the drive was to his house. So I don't know how long that food was sitting in his car, but I didn't understand, like, how far away do you live from the airport? I wish the show would have explained why he felt the need to make a box lunch for her. Like, why couldn't she just wait to eat at home, have a fresh cooked meal or pick something up from a restaurant or a fast food place or something? I didn't understand why he had to make her a meal, because by the time she got to eating it in the car, the fries were dead. The French fries were dead. But anyway, that's just a little whatever. They get to the house and it's very awkward between Joan and Greg's mother. I didn't feel like the mother was very welcoming. I know that the mother has a problem with her son being with Joan. Okay. And I have my suspicions of what those issues are, but I'm not going to voice them because I don't know for sure. And I don't want to put that on that lady. But I do get that feeling that she's not 100% on board with this relationship, because she really didn't say anything that was overly welcoming or endearing towards Joan. So they hugged when he introduced, this is my mom, this is Joan. They did hug. Um, Joan was very tired. Okay. She didn't want to sit down and talk for 2 to 3 hours. She really wanted to, take a shower, and she was exhausted. She wanted to go to bed. Okay, fine. So he takes her upstairs to give her like a little tour of the room, and his closet was a mess. his closet was a mess. It was disorganized, it was junky, and I think he even told her, "Yeah, I'm gonna help you." No, he says, "I hope you're gonna help me clean it." One thing that I forgot to mention, and that's what I get for not sticking to my notes. On their way from the airport to the house, he brought up the fact that his mother did not want them sharing a bedroom. And Joan was kind of taken aback by that. She was like, like, I don't understand. Why not? And he said, because, my mom doesn't want to hear anything going on. And Joan was shocked that he said that because she was like, you talk about that with your mom? You talk about intimacy with your mom? And he was like, yeah, so, just out of respect for my mom, if we're going to be in the same room, then we should keep the door open. And what I didn't like about that conversation was how, because between Joan and Greg, I'm pretty sure it's Greg that wants to do the freaky deaky. Okay. I don't think Joan is chomping at the bit, trying to get into his pants. So the way that he was talking to her, to me, it was almost as if he was trying to like, okay, hold your horses, Joan. Don't be jumping on me right away. We got to respect my mom. And I'm like, it's not even like that, Greg. If only you knew. It's not even like that. I'm pretty sure Joan can wait. So he kind of just talked. He was talking to her like she was some sex starved whatever. Like, hey, we can't be doing none of that. We have to respect my mom. And if you're insisting on sleeping in the same room with me, we've got to keep the door open. And I was just like, Greg, you're doing way too much. You're doing way too much. And I think even Joan was kind of like, you don't got to worry about that. So they get to the house, like I said. While she, so he, like I said, the room was very, the closet was very junky. I don't understand why, and this has happened so many times on 90 Day Fiance and all the various franchises. You're having your significant other come to America to be with you, or vice versa. Why can't you clean your room? You don't want to have a house for her. Okay, because you can't afford it. You don't want to have anything really for her. She has to share this house with your mother. The least that you could do is to spruce up your damn room for her. And I'm talking about the main part, the closet, every nook and cranny. Just make it nice and neat and presentable and clean for her. But he couldn't even do that. And he, like I said, he even had the audacity to be like, well, maybe you can help me clean up my closet. Like she's coming there to be your maid. Okay, so he comes downstairs to talk to his mother, and his mom is like, "Where's Joan?" And he says she's upstairs taking a shower. And the mom goes, "Still? Like, what do you mean still? Like, are you timing her showers or something?" So Greg tells his mom that because he tells his mom that they're going to be sleeping in the same room. And the reason that he gives her is so bizarre to me. He tells his mother because she's scared of the dark. That's why he would prefer for them to have to be in the same room. Like, why can't you just say, we're about to get married, we're engaged, we're adults, and this is how it's going to be? And Greg, if your mom doesn't like it, then why don't you have your own place? This is the reason why I said in my last review, he's not ready to take on a damn wife because he still has to go by his mother's damn rules. You can't even act like a healthy adult couple because you still have to go by your mom's rules. But anywho, so he tells his mom the whole thing about her being scared of the dark. I was like, that is so ridiculous. I didn't hear Joan say that. So if that's true or not, I don't know. I did not hear those words come out of Joan's mouth that she's afraid of the dark. You just should have said, because we're gonna get married, Mom. Okay, we're engaged. We're gonna be married. We have 90 days to get married. It's happening. So we're gonna be in the same room together because we're together. We're a couple. We're gonna be in the same room, and that's just how it is. Anywho, so he tells his mom that, out of respect for you, we are going to keep the door open. Like, this is a grown woman, and she's going to have to be sneaking around, doing things behind her soon to be mother in law's back because this man is not grown enough and mature enough to make sure that he's really ready to start this new life with this woman, i.e., having his own place. Mark and Mina. So it's day two in America. Mina is talking to, so they start off the morning talking to her son. Her son's really sad because he can't be in America with his mom and his sister. And so, everybody's crying. Mina's crying, her son's crying, but they promise him that they're going to get his passport taken care of for him to come and join them in America. So now it's time to have breakfast. Unfortunately, Mark did not get a high chair for his daughter. So it was so he didn't get a high chair for her. He didn't get diapers for her. So he takes her to this Mayberry type looking convenience store slash gas station. And I'm like, what is this, 1950? Like, why aren't you going to Walmart? I'm not understanding. Why aren't you going to like a major grocery store to get all the things that you need in one building? Because they go to the convenience store to look for what were they trying to get food, I guess, to get something to eat, something to cook, or I don't know what they were, and some diapers, yeah, and to get diapers. And then they go to some small town mom and pop little furniture store to look for a high chair. Why aren't you going to Walmart or something like that? I don't know if the show told them to do this so that it could look all quirky or whatever. It could be, like this is content, to be like, oh, this woman from this other country, she's going to be all surprised and upset because her man has taken her to some rinky dink little uh, corner store to get food and diapers. That didn't make any sense to me. Okay, and so later on, they are in the hot tub together, and Mark tells her how important it is for her to get along with his family, especially his daughter. And Mina tells us that she considers Jordan, Mark's daughter, a hypocrite because when Mark's family went to Paris for Maria's baptism, Mina tells us that her and Jordan got along fine. And they showed us a picture that they took together at the church, I think. And she says, we were getting along fine. Everything was wonderful. We were in Paris together. But then this whole entire time, I find out that she's talking crap about me to Mark. So she really didn't like me. So that's why she considers her a hypocrite. And she even called her a snake to Mark. And Mark was like, no, pump your brakes, sis. You cannot be calling my daughter a damn snake. And Mina stood 10 toes down. She was like, yeah, she is a snake. And this is the reason why I think she's a snake. Because she doesn't know what kind of who she's going to be getting, because she doesn't know who Jordan really is. One minute Jordan acts like they're the best of friends. The next minute Jordan is like talking crap about her. So she tells Mark, your daughter does not have the authority to tell us what to do in our relationship. For example, like the fact that Mina wants to have another child, and Jordan has already expressed to her dad that she's not on board with that. And so Mina's like, why is your daughter dictating what we need to do in our relationship? And so there's this, huge contention between the daughter and the soon to be wife, and Mina's upset about it. And so Mark is trying to be like, hey, I just want everybody to get along. I love you. I love my daughter. And I want y'all to get along. I want us to be one big happy family. And Mina gets really overwhelmed and emotional about it all because of the fact that she feels like the daughter has a lot to say with what goes on in her relationship with Mark. So she gets out of the hot tub. She's over it. And she tells him, and don't you even think about coming into the bedroom tonight. Well, she did say that she's the boss of the house. Okay. And he didn't argue against that in the last episode. Let's move on to Amani and Matt. This is the thruple. So Amani and Matt, they're headed to Mexico to meet with Ani. And Amani tells us in her confessional that she kind of worries about Matt and Ani getting close. Like, what if Matt has stronger feelings for Ani than he does for her? That's stupid to me. That's absolutely stupid. Like, how could you be comfortable inviting a third person into your relationship if you have these type of reservations? Like, I don't understand. Anything is possible. He could develop strong feelings for Ani. Him and Ani could want to run off together and leave you behind. All of that is possible. So why are you doing this? If you have these kind of fears, then maybe you're not built for a throuple or for polyamory. Something about this whole situation to me is very, like, I'm not understanding this either. Like, y'all go to Mexico for a vacation, I'm assuming. You walk into some random strip bar, you pick up a random stripper, and now all of a sudden you want to marry her, bring her back to America, and integrate her family with yours. Ani tells us that this is her very first polyamory relationship. She loves Amani. She loves Matt. She's excited, but she's nervous. She has a 7-year-old daughter that lives with her. She has a 20-year-old son, and then she has a 17-year-old son. No, she has an 11-year-old son, a 20-year-old son, an 11-year-old son. I don't know where the hell they are, but she lives with her daughter. Her daughter lives with her 7-year-old, and she's going to be introducing her daughter into this dynamic. Not to mention, Amani and Matt also have very small children. This is just so incredibly bizarre. I know for a fact that this is not going to work out. I know for a fact that this thruple is not going to last. And I think these people are just on here for show, for our entertainment value. I don't believe in the sincerity of Amani, Matt, and Ani. I think they're paid actors and they're just here for entertainment purposes only. Shakina and Sarper. Turkey is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. I have no idea why they want to move to congested, highly polluted, crazy LA. I don't understand why they want to go live in LA. Turkey to me just seems, and remember, we met Shakina on 90 Day Fiance the other way because she was supposed to go live with Sarper in Turkey. Why they want to go to smog filled LA is beyond me. So they're getting ready to leave, and this whole thing was just about them saying goodbye to Sarper's family. And Sarper and his parents are having a really difficult time with him leaving, and Shakana doesn't get it because Shakana don't really give a damn about family because she wrote her family off. Family's disposable to Shakina, so she doesn't understand why Sarper and his parents are being, like this dramatic about being separated from one another. And she even told him, she's like, "You're a grown man, and I think what's going on with you leaving your parents, you're just, you're acting a little bit over dramatic about it." And he's like, "Well, you don't understand family like the way I understand family," which is true. I agree with Starper on that. For Shekinah, family doesn't really mean much to her. She's like, she could take it or leave it. You don't like my man? Okay, forget you. I'm not talking to you anymore. And it's different with Sarper and his parents. He said it was a cultural thing. I don't think it was a cultural thing. I think it's just a Shekinah thing. Shekinah just doesn't understand. Now, the thing that really I was kind of like confused about was Shekinah told Sarper, if my daughter doesn't like you, then we're not getting married. What the hell does that mean, Shakana? Because you've already started the K1 visa process. Y'all are on your way to America. You're going to have 90 days to get married once you land in the United States. Why are you bringing this up now? Shouldn't you have run this by your daughter way before you submitted your K1 application? So I knew that this whole thing about the daughter not liking Sarper and her telling him, if she doesn't like you, then I'm not going to. All of that is a bunch of nonsense. It's a lot of BS. I don't think she kind of cares what her daughter thinks. Her mind is already made up to marry Sarper, or her daughter is in on this too. This fake storyline as well, because everything about Shekinah and Sarper to me is fake. I think they're a real couple. Okay, I do believe that. Unlike the throuple, I think that Shekinah and Sarper are a real couple, that they really are into each other. I think that they're making up storylines to have an excuse to be on this show. Okay, I don't think it's going to be a problem for her daughter to accept Sarper. I don't think there's going to be he's not going to come back to Turkey. He's not going to leave Shekinah and come back to Turkey if the daughter doesn't like him. The daughter has already been told or whatever, when the cameras are on, act like you like him. Okay, whether you do or you don't, act like you do. So whatever. Moving on to Stevie and Motty. Okay, basically the whole entire segment was them taking a tour of New Orleans and Monty being shocked about all of the hedonism that he sees in New Orleans, the naked mannequins at the sex shops and the people dancing and singing in the streets, and he's just in shock and awe of it all. and talking about how, oh, in Iran, if you were dancing and singing, you get arrested. Oh, in Iran, if you're seen doing this, you get arrested. Oh, in Iran, that was all basically that it was. Okay, we get it. We understand. We've seen a lot of people from the Middle East on this show. We understand the cultural differences and how everything is so shocking and bad. We get it. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.